are gonna start by cleaning this thing as usual. So we're gonna spray it down, wipe it down, and then we will move on to disassembly. All right, guys, we're gonna begin disassembly, and then we will continue to clean because there's a lot of little nooks and crannies. So sometimes it's easier to disassemble a piece before you fully really clean it well. Yeah, this thing just has a lot of the cast iron has a lot of little details and nooks and stuff, so it'll just be easier once the wood is off. So this is held on by flathead screws. You can see right here. So they, at least on the seat part here, there's two. There's one here, and then it looks like, to me, on the back, you can see this piece of this board here just kind of sets in there. So I think once we get the screws off, we'll be able to remove this piece, and then on the back side it's the same idea. You've got your flathead screws, one here, one over here, and then this piece comes off. This guy is going to be an interesting thing because this is going to be tough, and I don't believe this is removable. We'll have to see when we get there, but I have an idea for this to try to preserve it. I don't necessarily want to go ripping anything out because it is as old as it is. I believe this desk was built in the early 1900s. The patent number on this is kind of cool. Let me see if I can find it. It's right here. Patent, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this was patented. The design was patented on December 31st, 1907. So this thing is old. So pretty cool. Yeah, we'll see. So I'm going to start taking it apart, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, we're going to start taking this apart. On stuff like this, you only want to use hand tools. I'm going to just use a flathead screwdriver. If you try to use a drill on something like this, you risk snapping the head off of the screw, or stripping it very badly, and then you don't want to be having to drill into this wooden base, into this seat, if you don't have to. I'm going to try my best to not mess up any screws and keep this thing as original as possible. So oh yeah, here we go. This one's coming out very easily, which is cool. So here we go. Here's one. So you can see how rusty that screw is. So you don't want to be using a drill on something like this. So we're going to do this, and I'm going to remove the other screw here, and we'll get the seat off. All right, guys, here's another little quick tip. Always use a container for any hardware that you remove from a piece, because you don't want to lose this stuff. So I just grabbed a plastic bin, and I put all my hardware in here, and then that way we can clean it in here too, and it'll be ready to go back on when we're ready to assemble everything. Okay, we're gonna continue to remove screws. We have one here, one on the other side. Now that we got those screws off, I think this piece should lift up. There it goes. slides, and it comes right up. All right, so there's one of them. You can see, so these little posts, these little notches that are cut in, they slide up and then lock in place. So I assume we'll be able to do the same thing on this guy. You want to just be very careful when you do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this top piece off also. All right, guys, so we have the desk portion off, and you can see you have your pencil tray here, which is really cool. And then I think this is like an inkwell that they would, you know, put their bottle of ink in, and then they could dip their pen into. These two pieces, they're very solid, which is great. This one has some pretty bad water staining, but I have a method that I used before. It's in one of my previous videos, but we'll use that again. And it's just using vinegar and olive oil, soda, and we can get all of this water staining off, or you know, pretty much get it all off. And we'll get to be able to have this almost back to where it used to be, condition wise, and then, you know, we'll probably stain it. But the wood itself is very solid. So I'm going to show you now too. This is going to be our big issue. This tray here is all cracked, as you can see. I don't know if this comes out. It doesn't really want to budge because it has these little stops. So I think I might end up gluing this, putting a lot of glue in there and clamping it, and hopefully that will hold this together, because I really want to try to keep this as original as possible. So now that we got this top part off, I'm going to continue to get the backrest off and the seat, and then we will check back in. All right, guys, you're going to run into something like this sometimes. This old screw, part of the head snapped off. So I can't get a screwdriver in there to loosen it. So what I'm gonna be doing instead is, you wanna grab yourself a pair of pliers. I tried these guys work okay, but they're a little big. So other option is some needle nose. So I'm gonna use these, and I'm hoping I can get a good enough grip on that, and then we can unthread it this way. Oh yeah, there we go. So we're gonna loosen this thing. I think I'm gonna have to replace this screw, but it's coming out, which is great. It's turning okay. There we go. So here we have it. Got that one out. So yeah, you can see, kind of crazy, but that screw, half of the head snapped off. I haven't seen something like that before. So anyway, so we'll put this in our bin over here. So okay, so we're gonna remove their backrest and our seat next. So our screws are all removed. But it's the same sort of situation like we have up top. We have all of these posts that the desk sets in, and then it slides forward to lock it into place. So same idea here. You can see this little valley, and if you look all the way down here, this is where it rests on the bottom. So we're gonna need to knock the backrest up slightly to loosen it. So how we do that is we're gonna take a block like this, because you don't want to go pounding on the actual, you know, wood itself. You want to be very gentle with this. So we take our block here, and I'm gonna put it right up against the face on the side here, and then I'm gonna take our mallet and we're gonna hit our block and knock this thing loose. Okay, you can see now it's raised, and this should pop out. This thing is as old as it is, so it might need a little bit more help, but we will get this off one way or another. Okay, after a lot of hammering, it's apart. So you have your two legs here, and then this is that tray I was talking about that's pretty hammered. So now that I have it apart, I think I'll be able to hopefully preserve this. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But here's the front part of the desk, here's the seat, and this is the backrest. So my plan is I'm gonna individually, you know, sand these, stain these, and they'll all come out nice. And then I'm gonna continue to clean the legs and get those nice and clean, and I'll probably hit them with a new coat of paint. But yeah, so here it is. So it's really interesting how that thing went together. Every piece has these notches, and so when it's all put together, it is rock solid. So yeah, we'll start sanding these guys down and getting them all cleaned up and ready. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more.